Well, viewers, I don't know if you all saw, the captain made a great video, as always, when Captain Capitalism, our fine commander, speaks, we all listen. And so, he had a great video about how feminism has been defeated because young men don't want to get married. And that's the whole game. That's the whole thing. Just like Kevin Samuel said, that you get sex from women, you get a relationship from men. Beyond that, in case anybody is sitting there sucking their teeth, cranking their neck, they neck, yo neck, whatever. Okay, thank you. Yeah. I always love when you could tell that truck driver who's like, no, go ahead, just come on. I ain't speeding up. So there was a article that came out, and most of you probably saw it, that the divorce rates that are starting to get reported from same-sex couples, they're not doing marriage any better than heterosexuals. And when it comes to the women, the divorce rate is such that, they're easily divorcing as much as they would if they were to be in a heterosexual relationship, maybe even more. And so that then is the thing that kind of makes it like, well, no. So there is nothing that makes it, the women, some pseudoscience, some pseudo-history, the men are this way and blah, 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 and all this stuff. So now feminism doesn't matter. The claims of feminists, the bigot-ass women who love always talking crazy shit about men, now it won't matter. This also applies to pro-Israel politics. The young right is not interested in Israel at all. The young right has no sense of connection to Israel as a political issue. The young left they resent Israel. A lot of the young right resent Israel and even resent Jews. So there's the old Republican Guard is really going to have a very hard time coming up soon. And this is going to be one of these things. You're either MAGA or you are no longer a part of the future of the Republican Party or the right or conservatives or even Christianity. You're some part of the past that made its deal with modernism, and there's no way back from that. You made your deal with modernism, with the French Empire. You made your deal with the modernists. With this change, the statistical change in men now going into the trades, men not marrying, the political change in Americans the young Americans not seeing Israel as a part of kind of the experiment in democracy. This changes everything we understand about politics in America. Everything. These are such fundamental issues in politics, there's no way back. And now the left can't come back because the left are broken. Too many of these people who are left of center are just broken. They're small, diminutive, obviously kind of genetically less than people before them who were liberals. They won't accomplish the great works of liberals prior to them. A great example of this is how something like, that if I were to play theme songs from 70s TV shows, almost no blacks would know the songs. They would have no idea. They would not know that's the theme to Sanford and Son. They wouldn't know that's the theme to What's Happening. They wouldn't know any of that. So this idea that then a tradition of music is going to get carried on that has something to do with that, that's impossible. You can't carry on a tradition of music if you don't know the music in the first place. And so there's all these things that are now starting to seriously change about American culture and politics. There's no way back from. And those who don't adapt to it, they're done in party politics. And that's why 20 Republicans just resigned by going against Jordan. They might as well just step down, because they're not going to make it. They're going to get primaried. I don't know what they were thinking, but this is how it's going to go. And the future is going to be a lot like that. The Democrats are doing the same thing. The Democrats have their own thing. They have their massive changes in how they what they think about society and how people are supposed to get along, and they've embraced their history of being openly violent or embracing the openly violent to get what they want from party politics. They've exposed that that the Democratic Party actually believes in misusing the government so that they could force people to do what they want. The Republican Party is like, no, leave it to the states. Like, abortion showed everything that the Democrats want it as some kind of new universal right that would basically constantly make it as, well, who has rights, the child or the parent? Like, it would constantly mean this. It also means that really women have decided they get to murder children. Is really what it is that they completely, which is savagery. It's resorting back to the savage state of humanity, that the female and her family fundamentally owns the offspring. Divorce court has made it like this, and that there's that. So when I was listening to that woman, when Hood Servitor was playing that woman Princella, I was sitting there and I'm just like, this is literally this backwards person desperately trying to make it sound like there's some high level of science, something amazing going on here. That it's like, no, men will, they do this and they do that, and then society just stops cold. And I'm like, why do feminists say this? And then I'm sitting there and I'm like remembering, like, this is like Andrea Dworkin shit. Big, ugly, mega disgusting old Jewish lady who hated men and, just a freak of nature. And I'm just like, what is it about? And so what a big part of it is that there's, as Edward Dutton was pointing out, we have more and more people who are turning out to just be kind of uglies. And these uglies, they're stuck being ugly. I'm not that good looking of a guy, but I got probably more than my fair share of loving. But it's one of these things of like, no, there's all these women out there now who are, and guys, especially on the left, that are severely ugly people. And they don't fit in any place. They need to be in an ugly and unlikable, a club of unlikable and or ugly people. Or a club that will accept you if you're kind of weird and not very attractive. And then it's like, no, it's cool that you're ugly. It's... that's like quite literally the deal with the hippies. I actually had a conversation once with a person who was super fat and was really not a very attractive woman. And actually, she was really not attractive. It was kind of sad. But it was, and I was like, oh, blah, 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 the hippies. She's like, well, they're cool, and they accept you. But and it was really this kind of thing like, but, and it was like, yeah, because they're hippies. And so it's like you're almost admitting I'm in like the lamest social club that could possibly exist. It's like it's really, it's pretty amazing as if you live around an enclave where there's people who like they were hippies, and that like hippies are exceedingly unlikable people as they get older. Like some of them are cool. They don't bother anybody. They really just like they just stop bothering people. They just stop. They're just kind of kooky folks. But it's like once you have to deal with them enough, you're like, no, there's something about. And then finally you realize that they're like these intensely self-righteous people that like I mean, they are absolutely leftists, and it's even more than like they're truly the people who believe in it culturally, like they're culturally lefties, and that they just like seeing sort of everything normal and good getting it stuck, stick it to the normal and good, until they become like Jesus hippies or something, or they after the second divorce, the dude finally figures out maybe I should clean my act up or something, or he meets some woman who's even remotely got it together, and he's like, maybe I should cut my hair, and get a union job so I could get a public pension. So, just some stuff I was thinking about today. Yeah, there's more going on, but that's just what was running through my head there. The boys, you're doing so good. You're doing good, fellas. You young guys, you got it, man. Aaron was right. Like, man, so much better, dude. You guys just have no idea just how the sucker level, just constantly like people you would know who you're like. Just that like they like lost like years with their kid, and then they had to kind of reconstruct their child after finally like the mom was like, yeah, I'm a fucking piece of work. You should take the kid, and and I've got a new girlfriend who's a bitch. So this is better for everyone, and it just, and you're just like, god damn, that's fucked up, dog. So you guys really are, and you're doing a bang up job. So many of you young guys are on here on YouTube, like speaking your piece and making some really cool channels. Like there's a lot of these young guys that the stuff they're making now is very insightful and very interesting, and yeah. So the Fed hike made the death cross. The last Fed hike made the death cross. DJ Crutch. Is this true? Let's see. What channel is that? Oh, from Kitco. Yeah. They might be talking up their book, but I mean, they wouldn't say it if they couldn't show the chart. But I'll have to take a look. Even though I don't quite understand all of it yet. It's sinking. Oh god, some tricks are hard to learn as the dog gets old. Starbucks is closing stores in San Francisco. Okay, finance hat. Once again, it's on. All right, peace.